All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Tuesday, October the 19th, 2021. Appreciate you all tuning in. We are live, the Daily Crow, here on a Tuesday, hosted by yours truly, Chris Phillips of the Spurs Up Show. Appreciate you all tuning in, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. The phone lines are open, folks. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. I see Todd Smith, Sean O'Brien, Travi, Darius, Jimmy, Rel Garner, Luke Boyd. What's going on? Also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, excuse me, Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. Again, a lot to get into. Also, we'll be tuned in to Shane Beamer's media availability today at 1:15. 1:15, we'll catch that. Shane Beamer, of course, speaking to the media as he does each and every single Tuesday ahead of this weekend's game as the Gamecocks take on Texas A&M in College Station. Again, a lot to get into. Taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Also a big baseball day as you see the cap. Bravos looking to go up 3-0 in L.A. this afternoon. It's going to be a fun day, going to be a fun Tuesday, guys. Again, before we get into everything, I do want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies, but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they've represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. They're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. You've been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it is, the last thing you should be worried about and dealing with is dealing with the paperwork and dealing with the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today. In Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, they're friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Okay, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Yeah, I got the Braves cap on. Justin Warren, go Bravos. We got the chop right here. We got the tomahawk chop right here. We're good. Yeah. 5:08 first pitch. Bravos taking on the Dodgers. Going to be a fun one for sure. Again, guys, want to hear from you. Your questions, your comments, your calls. It is Tuesday of Texas A&M week. We can continue to talk about the Vandy game if you like, or we can go ahead and move into this game against Texas A&M. Whatever you guys want to discuss here on a Tuesday. Again, Shane Beamer speaking to the media at 1:15, so we will most certainly tune into that. We'll be very curious to see what Shane Beamer has to say here on this Tuesday ahead of this ballgame. Again, also, quick reminder, guys, if you haven't done so, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 521. Alex McGrath and I breaking down everything you need to know from Saturday. We discussed the Gamecocks' 21-20 win over Vandy, also talk the Texas A&M game and just give our overall thoughts on that, as well as all of the happenings around Gamecocks football. Darius says the game Saturday was crazy. I'm still thinking about it. Really, it was. It really was a crazy game. It really was a crazy game. Let's see. It looks like the AP poll is out for women's basketball, and the Gamecocks, to no surprise, are ranked number 1. So congratulations to Dawn Staley, her crew. Yeah, we can also talk basketball. That came out, women's basketball. Dawn Staley's team ranked number 1. The men have been picked by the media to finish 11th in the SEC. Your overall thoughts on that? Again, I'm not really surprised. I think that's just kind of where Gamecocks basketball sort of falls at this point. And if you want to change it, you got to win games. But, after last season and the last couple of years, really, where you've really underachieved and haven't done much, haven't made much noise in the conference, I think picking this team to finish 11th is probably about right, to be totally honest with you. Jimmy Mendio, what's going on? Rel Garner says, I may have missed it yesterday. Was there ever an update on Juju? Not yesterday. I would expect Beamer to talk more about that today. But, Rel, also, Shane Beamer said after the game on Saturday that Juju will be back this week. So it was some interdisciplinary issue, some issue within the team. They took care of it behind closed doors. It's done with. So I don't think there will be much more talk of it. It sounded like, again, Shane Beamer said that he will be back for the game this weekend. Luke Boyd, good morning to everyone except the Texas A&M Aggies. Jimmy says, will you ever have fans to be on your podcast? Jimmy, that's a very slippery slope. Because if you allow one fan to come on, do you realize how many fans there are that want to come on the podcast? A lot. The answer is a lot. So it's a very, very slippery slope. We have our guest interviews and all that good stuff. We have our conversations with Alex McGrath. I don't know that we'll just open it up ever wide open for fans to come on. Like I said, that could get really, I don't know, could be kind of tough.
Call from
I set the phone lines here. So, Brian, what's going on? How are you?
What's up, Chris? Been good to catch you yesterday, man. Had a busy day at work, but wanted to talk some bandy points today.
Yeah, man, go for it.
First things first, I think we've done a really good job this season, coaching-wise, on embracing the next man up mentality. Whether it be Zeb Noland or, our two running backs, Juju, or, Quandre White, the people we have in the safety, whatever position. People have stepped up, people have made plays, and they haven't disappointed for the most part. So with that said, I don't know how everybody on our team seems to have some kind of foot or ankle injury this year, but sit them on the bench, as far as I'm concerned. The Quandre White should be starter at the running back position. Juju, once he gets off the bench because of disciplinary issues, whatever's going on with him, he's the next man up there. And our other two running backs, let them get healthy. When they get healthy, let them prove themselves again. They come in for mop-up duty later in the game when we need some fresh backs, whatever the case may be. But I'm just tired of throwing people in there and then we use injuries as excuses. I'm just over it.
Yeah, I agree 110%, man. I talked about that yesterday as far as Luke Doty's concerned. That I'm really sick and tired of the whole 90%, 95%. He's getting closer to 100%. If he's not 100%, don't play him. And I guess that I could say that for every single player. You have a roster of 80 or 90 guys for a reason. So yeah, like I said, next man up mentality. And I just, it's football. Guys get hurt, they get banged up, whatever. And I really admire guys wanting to be warriors and play through it. But at some point, man, you got to give other guys opportunities. So there's other good players on this team that need opportunities to shine. And again, the obvious case is Luke Doty. And I just hate it for Luke because he's just been a shell of himself because he can't move because of the foot and everything. So if it's something where he needs surgery or, he's not going to be 100% the rest of the year, I say just ride Zeb out the rest of the way. I'm just tired of watching. I'm tired of hearing about Luke Doty's foot. I'm tired of that being the excuse. Either have him be 110% healthy or don't play him. That's pretty much it for me.
I mean, look, man, I'm from Myrtle Beach, so yeah. I'm probably the biggest Luke Doty supporter that there's going to be. I want him to succeed. I've gone to his high school games. I've watched him throw the ball. Kid's fucking great, man. I mean, excuse my language, but he's great. And, you can even think back to Everett Golson when he played at Myrtle Beach. I think Luke's better than Everett.
Yeah.
And that's big.
Yeah.
So, with that said, Zeb's played great. He came in for a last drive. He did what he was supposed to do, but I'm also pumping the brakes there because, Vandy's playing, some kind of prevent defense. They're only rushing 3. Fans don't see that, man. A lot of fans don't understand the different defenses that are run, especially in game time situations like that. So to think that he's going to come out and be the answer next week, I hope he is.
Yeah,
I hope he is. But same issues exist with the O-line. Hopefully he's got the communication better down than Luke does if there's an issue there. But I'm just pumping the brakes on being too overly ecstatic about everything's going to change,
No, and I think that's smart. I mean, listen, I don't want to take anything away from Zeb Noland because he came in and orchestrated that drive and won the game and really avoided disaster for South Carolina because that would have been a disaster. That would have been an embarrassing loss. So he saved you there. But, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm keeping very realistic expectations, too. I don't expect Zeb Noland to go out there and light the world on fire and throw for 300 and all of a sudden this football team just looks totally different. We finished the season 5-0. I'm not expecting that at all. The things that concern me about Zeb Noland at the beginning of the year, they still concern me now. I mean, his lack of mobility, and obviously it's safe to say now, when he was starting in the beginning, we're still figuring out this football team. It's safe to say now we are a one-dimensional team. We cannot run the football. That is just a fact. That's not an opinion anymore. That is a fact. 7 weeks is not a small sample size. So I just feel like at this point, if you can't run the football, you can't run it. You can't run it. So it's going to be on Zeb to throw the football, and can the offensive line – can they protect him? That'll be the question. And again, that was the issue early in the season, the thing I was concerned with, and that'll be the thing I'm concerned with going into Saturday night against a really good Texas A&M defensive front. So, maybe he can do some good things. Excited to watch him play, and I know a lot of fans want to see him get that opportunity. So I'm excited and happy he's going to get it, because we're going to find out just what type of player Zeb Noland is and what kind of spark he can bring. But, yeah, I'm not expecting any miracles or anything, man. I think Zeb Noland, it's a really nice story. He's won some nice games for you. He has some obvious limitations, and I still think a 100% Luke Doty, a truly 100% Luke Doty is still the best option, but not a 90% Luke Doty or not an 80% or God knows whatever he's been at this season. So, ride it out with Zeb if you got to, and we'll just kind of see what happens, and we'll just go from there. So maybe he can do some good things Saturday, though. You never know. So,
I don't think we've made the wrong decision by giving Luke the chance that he rightfully deserved. He came in and played 2 games. If we stuck with Zeb until now and we had the same struggles, everybody be saying Colin Hill this, and we should play Luke, and we gave him a chance. Everybody got to see what there was. Now everybody's, rallying for Luke, for Zeb again. So it's kind of one of those things where at least he put him out there. We got to see what we got. Everybody's not saying it's coaching malpractice because Luke didn't get to play. So, there's that. Shane also made a good decision of putting Zeb in there when he did. Whether or not the injury occurred or not to Luke again. Zeb said it himself in that post-game interview. He stayed ready. He's been in this position before. He's back up for the majority of his career. And, he proved that he's got what it takes to, at least make the decisions, make the throws. The moment's not too big for him. So I think that was really big and something to build on, at least for the rest of the year.
Yeah. And like what you were saying, man, it's talking about if Zeb had played the whole year. And, we had a caller, Brad Kane. That name's going to stick in my brain forever. Brad Kane called in, left a voicemail that, he said that we'd be 6-1 right now if Zeb Noland had started. And now it's like you said, man, it's all hindsight is 2020. If Zeb had started the whole season and we were 4-3, it's like he's Colin Hill 2.0. We should have played Luke. And the reality is this, and I will stick by this until the cows come home. But the real problem with this football team is we just can't run the ball. I mean, it's sexier and more popular to blame the quarterback because that's an easier thing to point at and blame. But the real issue is we can't run the ball because, again, I just spent months saying that if we couldn't run the ball, it didn't matter who was at quarterback. We're going to struggle offensively. Like, if we can't even execute on our strength, we're going to struggle. And so that's why the offense has struggled, in my opinion. Like, truly. The running game was supposed to carry the offense. That was the whole point. Nobody, I think, in their right mind expected this to be some high-flying, throw it 40 times a game. And if you expected that, I would ask you, well, why? Like, why on God's green earth were you expecting an inexperienced quarterback and a group of ragtag receivers to make that happen? You know what I mean? So the running game has been the biggest downfall. It hadn't been on Luke Doty, hadn't been on Zeb Noland or anybody else. It's been the running game. So that'll be, in my opinion, that will be what needs to be reevaluated more than anything. Does that mean you need to fire Greg Atkins? Does that mean you need to change up schemes in the block? I don't know. But I mean, it's if things continue, which all signs point to they will continue the way they've been, what a disappointing year for a Gamecocks running game that was the backbone of your football team a season ago. So that's the real issue in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sucks, because we have high expectations obviously coming in. But, The only thing I can think of that might be different if we started Zeb from the beginning of the year till now, do I think we could have potentially won that Kentucky game? Absolutely. That game was a disaster. We still barely lost.
Yeah.
So that could be a turning point. But then there could have been another game that we won that maybe Zeb started that we would have lost. I mean, it's hard to say, and you never know where you're going to be. There's a whole lot of ifs out there, and what's the point of, considering them all as reality? We didn't go that route. Doesn't matter at this point. I don't think we could have put last year's team, 2 years ago's team, 3 years ago's team on the field against Tennessee, and we probably still would have lost that game. They just had our number that day. This is what it is. But with that said, some of the play calls are to blame. I like the over aggressive nature that Shane Beamer has, or Mark Satterfield, whoever's idea it is to go for fourth down. I like the idea, but at the same time, we have to understand what our identity is. I don't think that's our identity right now. A team that goes for it in fourth down situation, 4th and 4, 4th and 5, wherever you're out on the field, those are teams that generally have good offenses that have, you have a play call in your mind that 2 out of 3 times or better, you're going to succeed in that play.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's any play in our playbook that we feel that confident in. And that needs to be considered in those situations. 3 points right now is the difference of winning and losing ball games. We proved that on Saturday against one of the worst teams in the nation.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That needs to be considered whenever we talk about these.
We're having to win in slugfests, and I guess you have to consider that. It's not like we're going to have hundreds of opportunities to go down there and score touchdowns and score points. At least not right now. Not right now. We're not getting that. So yeah, I guess
right.
you've
2 or 3
maybe
years down the line.
Yeah.
We get some better players. We get some better schemes. We get more confident in our offense. I'm all for it. I love that type of offense. The Oklahoma offense go out there and score 50 points. We're not there.
Yep. No, I agree. 110%, man. Got to embrace who you are, I guess, at some point. So.
Absolutely. But, he's learning. All the guys are learning. All the coaches, all the players. You got to go out there and you got to try and you got to fail.
Yeah.
That's the best way you can learn is, to say that you tried, you failed, you move on. So hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah.
Quick note on Texas A&M, and then I'll let you go. So game plan against Texas A&M. Obviously, we know they're a good team. They just beat the number 1 team in the nation a couple weeks ago. They got a good defense. So they know our quarterback situation. I'm sure they're doing their homework and they're planning accordingly. So I'm pretty confident they're going to bring pressure. We have to get Zeb Nolan some easy, high percentage, quick throws to get him established in that game. If we go out there and struggle throwing the ball off the start, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
But if we can get that offense rolling just a little bit, a couple throws here and there, get a couple first downs, I think they'll back off a little bit. If we show that Zeb can throw the ball, I think that'll open the running game. It's not always the running game has to open the passing game. Sometimes it's the other way around. And I think that's exactly what we got to do here to establish some sort of identity, on Saturday. If we can't do that, we might lose by 40 points.
Yeah. Very well could. You're a 21-point underdog right now. So, who knows? It's, never beaten this team before, and the last couple of times have been the definition of ugly. So, no, I agree with you. You got to start fast and find your identity quickly, or it could definitely get out of hand. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Man, I appreciate the call. A lot of great points, a lot of great perspective. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Look forward to next time.
Yeah, man. Take care. Appreciate you. Good stuff, man. Great call there. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Yeah, guys, in case you missed it, Dawn Staley's squad ranked number 1 in the preseason for the 2nd consecutive year, by the way. So congratulations, Dawn Staley. On the men's side, the men have been picked to finish 11th in the SEC. Again, not shocking. I think that's probably about where you belong. And we'll actually start talking basketball, guys, in my season preview stuff, not next week, but the following week. So 2 weeks from basically right now, we'll really start diving into basketball stuff, and I'll start doing my preseason preview, all that good stuff, and we'll go from there because basketball, it's right around the corner. It's right around the corner, believe it or not. Again, 843-790-3377. Liam Carney, very glad Zeb was locked in last Saturday. Seems like he's just as mobile as Doty right now. Neither can escape the rush. Maybe Zeb is in better shape and looks like he's making reads a little bit faster. Some hero stuff from Colonel Zeb. Yeah, it really was. Incredible. Incredible game. Miller Time says, I think Lloyd will transfer. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. When fans, I feel like some fans, and I'm not saying you're doing this, Miller Time, but I feel like some fans post stuff like that or tweet stuff like that or whatever. you know, and they're almost posting it as like a threat, like, oh, well, he's going to transfer. Dude, I don't care who wants to transfer. Like, if a kid wants to transfer, like, so be it. That doesn't even bother me. You know what I mean? Like, so be it. So be it. It's not, you're not threatening me with anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not playing and getting the job done, then, and you feel your opportunities are best elsewhere, then go. I don't care what you do. All we got is all we need. That's it. And again, Marshawn Lloyd, I don't think is going anywhere. Rosendo Lewis did hit the transfer portal, though. And again, that's not shocking. He's been here 4 years and has 16 career tackles. Yeah, he needs to go somewhere he can play. Probably should have transferred a couple years ago. Dylan Prothman, what's up, man? Let's see. Courtney Washington, that's true and all, but Luke Doty has missed some easy routine throws. He has. He's not been perfect, Courtney. You're correct. He has not been perfect. But you're going to get Zeb Nolan this Saturday. And I don't say that in a negative tone, but you are. Again, I think people are so quick to forget how much Zeb struggled against East Carolina early in that game. He was bad. I mean, he was really, really bad. So, again, I hope that's not the case. I hope he goes out there and throws for 400 yards, but I'm not going into the A&M game thinking that Zeb Nolan is going to be the savior of Gamecock football. I just don't see it. Let's see. Brandon Wagner, Hilinski has turned Northwestern around. Was this past Saturday not like his first game? And they beat Rutgers. So what are you talking? I mean, is Northwestern all of a sudden like a contender now due to thanks to Ryan Hilinski? Let's see. They're 3-3. Yeah, I don't think he's turned them around, guys. They just beat Rutgers 21-7 after losing to Nebraska 56-7. 56-7. So I don't know if that equates to a turnaround, but yeah, I don't know. I am curious, though. Let's see. Let's see. Where are the offensive stats? Where are the offensive stats for this team? Good God. Here we go. Ryan Hilinski this season. He's played in 4 games. Hasn't thrown a pick. That's impressive, actually. 57-99, a 57% completion percentage, 645 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Took the job from Hunter Johnson. How about that? Savannah Webster says, here to say, play Colton. Sometimes I wish fans could get their way. So sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes I do. I think the last thing you want to do is thrust Colton Gauthier out there, a true freshman. I mean, we don't know. I mean, does he grasp the blocking schemes? Does he grasp the playbook? Does he grasp everything? Is he ready to play? If he was, I think he'd be out there. John Gibbs, the question is, how good can Zeb be if the O-line actually blocks? You can argue that about any quarterback, but Zeb is accurate. Luke is the future, but has to be healthy. I mean, I think Zeb could be solid. I mean, again, though, I just, A&M's going to get pressure on you. You know what I mean? They're going to get pressure. The offensive line's not going to all of a sudden turn into something that it's not. And A&M's going to bring pressure. They're going to blitz. I love the story. I love Zeb for what he's done. Am I expecting any miracles from Zeb Nolan? No, I am not. I think he will, we'll see. I don't even want to make any predictions on his game. Just let a great game-winning drive. Maybe that will thrust him into some confidence, and he'll play his best football game against A&M. But I think he still has very obvious limitations. I still don't think he's a perfect player. Again, I have not forgotten the way he looked in that first half against East Carolina. Really, that entire game when he had some terrible throws. I mean, some awful throws. So I'll be very intrigued to see. And again, I'm glad the fans are getting what they want. I'm glad the fans are getting what they want. I'll just leave it at that. I'm glad the fans are getting what they want. So, Mark Regal, man, you shitted on Zeb for weeks. Not the greatest, but he can ball out. Mark, did I shit on Zeb or did I just say that he wasn't this team's best option? I didn't say he was like this terrible player, but I still stick by there is a reason Zeb Nolan came to South Carolina with the intentions of hanging up the cleats. There's a reason he did that. You know what I mean? If Zeb Nolan thought he was a great player and had a chance at the league, he would not have gotten to coaching. So, I don't feel like I was shitting on Zeb, but it's like, hey, 110% Luke Doty when he's actually mobile and can move around and bring that element to the offense. Yeah, I still think he's the best option. I do. But I don't want to see him back out there if he's not 100% because it's unfair to us. It's unfair to the team, but it's unfair to him too because you got people claiming that this kid's not an SEC quarterback. He's not this. He's not that. And he's not even able to put his best foot forward. No pun intended. You know what I mean? So don't do that to the kid. Don't let him go out there. I respect Luke for for wanting to play and leading his football team, but I don't need to see a 90% Luke Doty anymore. I don't need to see a 90% Luke Doty, man. I really don't. So. Dylan Prothman says, I like the Beamer City's going to get this program back to where it was because of the way they recruit. Shows that he's trying. Well, no kidding, they're trying. They want to win. So. Brian, yeah, listen, Zeb Nolan is playing. Luke Doty will not touch the field Saturday. So let's, hey, whether Zeb gives you the best chance or not, he's the one we're rolling with. So, Wanda Wells, how do you get the team to be consistent in playing as to having an awesome game one week and the next week you're like, what happened? I don't get it. Just saying. Accountability within the locker room, leadership, guys who approach the thing the right way week after week after week. They don't get too high. They don't get too low. They just go play ball, And listen, sports is random. Some days you're not going to have it. Some days you're not going to play your best game. It's just, hey, think about you in your personal life, right? Is every day a great day, right? Are you on point? Are you at your best every single day? Not necessarily, but you keep it moving. You keep pushing. So it's going to happen. But, you get a mature football team that has leadership, that has a standard, that expects to win. You know what I mean? Expects to win. Like people ask, how does a football team beat Alabama and then lose to Kentucky the following week? Well, that's a team that hasn't been there. That saying like, act like you've been there before. Well, we haven't, and we hadn't. And so talking to former players, we got a little too big-headed and we read our own press clippings and we didn't put in the work we needed to. And we went to Kentucky and got beat. You know what I mean? We got beat. So at teams like Alabama, they don't do that. They don't, because they expect to win. They expect to win every single game. They don't do that. You know what I mean? Let's see. Brian Alexander, what is frustrating is the team that played Kentucky was not the same team that played Vandy. Nothing is consistent ever. Well, yeah, again, you got to find that leadership and guys that can give you that consistency week after week after week. Let's see. Ridge Alford, I know it's an impossible task. What's the perfect storm of mayhem that gives us a chance to win this ball game Saturday besides A&M not showing up? On the road at night in College Station, you need to play a damn near flawless football game. Can't turn the football over, limit the penalties, and you got to get turnovers off of them. Think of it as like the Georgia game in 2019. That's kind of the way I look at it. You know what I mean? You got to get the ball off of them, take advantage of every single opportunity, things like that. So, Savannah Webster says, who is Zeb's backup? I probably would say it's Jason Brown. I would have to imagine. It's Jason Brown. Jason, we've seen other college quarterbacks that weren't 100% healthy and they were still accurate. Come on, man. Luke is athletic but not that accurate. Jason, name one. Name me one specific example. I think we'll just say things without like thinking I'm going to ask him about. Just name one guy. Just one single one. Yes, Luke Doty had a horrid game Saturday against Vandy, but overall, I mean, is he just this crazy inaccurate player? I mean, I don't think he's that bad. I mean, is he perfect? Do you expect him to get better as he grows into the position and gains experience? Yes. I don't know. Like, it's weird to me, and I understand a lot of freshmen come in and play, right? Like, lots of freshmen now come in and play. But it's weird to me that fans expect a true, like, guys that are super, super, super young to be like these polished players already. I didn't expect that this year. Like, he's still a very young player. So, but hey, play the guy that gets the best chance to win. I don't care who it is, man. I don't care who it is. John Gibbs says, honestly, Chris, I don't think you have. Doty might not even be at 70%. Best thing about Zeb is he knows who he is and just maybe being humble and having perspective. Just maybe he can have some success. Well, I hope being humble and having perspective will help him beat the Texas A&M defense. That's all I'll say. So, Brent Brooks, I think the Spencer Rattler stuff's just wishing and dreaming, man, that he would come to Columbia. It ain't going to happen. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. I really don't. So, Brian Lattimore, Luke is still listed as the backup to Zeb. Interestingly enough, you would think if he's injured, they would put Jason Brown above him on the depth chart. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think we as fans care more about the depth chart than Shane Beamer does or his coaching staff. So, just my take. Corey Bridges says that he's at 58%. Well, people are clamoring over what Ryan Hilinski's doing at Northwestern, and he's at 57%. So, I mean, what are we talking about? Let's see. Deshaun Watson played with a torn ACL. Yeah, comparing that team that Deshaun Watson was on to this one is a laughable comparison at best. Justin Warren, do you think we can take 1 or 2 or 3 in LA this week? I think we come home 3-2 in the series and finish it off Saturday night and we come back home. Yeah, you just got to take one. Bottom line, just take one. So, hey, if you could win tonight, that'd be great. Win tonight or win today, that'd be great. So, again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. It's wild to me how many people, again, maybe he will be a bust. It's wild to me how many people are just so ready to just throw Doty in the dumpster. Like, I think there's many people that think Doty should just hit the transfer portal. He should never play again. It's wild to me. Wild. Why? It's mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing. So, I mean, again, I'm not sitting here like Luke Doty's my boy and like I want him to play over any. I just want to win games. I don't care who it is, but I don't know. I think it's a wild take to just completely write the kid off. I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy one. So maybe I'm the crazy one here. Again, 843-790-3377. Gamecocks still a 21-point underdog in this game against Texas A&M. Over-under set at 45. Really low total. I don't think Vegas is expecting us to score very much, which makes sense. We got a text here that says, I just wish people would understand that, yes, Zeb had a great drive at the end of the game, but Vandy was playing terrible defense. It's going to just like it was early in the year when we all wanted Zeb out. A&M will bring pressure and shut us down. Doty is definitely our best option because of his athleticism, but he's not 100%, so let the kid get better and play the next best man up. Hopefully I'm wrong and the O-line will show up, but I have my doubts. What on God's green earth makes you think the O-line is going to show up this week? The O-line will show up this week and just be who they've been all season long. So, Shulin says, if, and it's a big if, Zeb can beat Clemson, Disney will come knocking. LOL. Would love to see that. Somebody texts in, could you argue this team has actually regressed? Went from losing 16-10 with multiple chances to win against a now 6-1 UK to now only being able to beat Vandy by 1. I don't think this team has regressed. I think this team's kind of been who it's been all season. I understand you lost to Kentucky 16-10, and here's the thing in that game, though, by the way, because people want to bring up you almost beat them. I could argue you probably should have gotten blown out because you won the turnover margin 3-0 and still basically lost by a touchdown. Imagine if the turnover margin was even. I mean, guys, you've kind of been the same team all season. You beat East Carolina on a last-second field goal. You beat Troy in a close game. And then you beat Vandy by a single point. Again, that game shouldn't have been that close, but you sort of have been the same team, I think, all year. You played Kentucky close. Congratulations. But, and then throw away the EIU game. Corey Bridges says, let's just accept 4-8 and work in the offseason. Braden Davis should go ahead and get the playbook. I will tell you this, though, Corey, is that, I think the thing that is in South Carolina's favor going in his last 5 games is that you play a lot of football teams that are damn near as flawed as you are, if not just as flawed as you are. With the Mizzous, the Clemsons, the Auburns, the Floridas. I mean, there's some flawed football teams. I'm not saying you're going to beat those teams. I'm not predicting that you're going to, make a bowl game. But it would not shock me at all if this team won one more game. It wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me in the slightest if South Carolina won one more game. Would not shock me at all. So, maybe you get to 5-7. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. The cardiac cocks are back. Christian Carver, I feel like they haven't used E.J. Jenkins enough because every time he's in the game, he does well. Christian, I'm not a coach, man. I don't know. I don't know why they haven't used E.J. more. I didn't have crazy high expectations for E.J. coming into the season, but yeah, it seems like when he's gotten the ball, he's made a positive contribution. So I don't know why he hasn't touched it more. I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. Nan Martin says, coming in late, sat out yesterday, had to gather my thoughts. It is obvious that Zeb brings a calming leadership that was definitely needed last week. The fact is none of us know what goes on behind closed doors. I believe we'll play our hearts out this Saturday. Victory will not be ours. How bad it is remains to be seen. Win or lose, I love my Gamecocks. Yeah, Nan, that's a very, very good take. Great perspective. We'll see what Zeb can do. I'll be intrigued to see what Zeb can do. Ethan Sanders says, if we got rid of all the mistakes, every score would have been very different by a lot. Still a ton of potential. Ethan, while that is a correct statement, unfortunately, that's not how sports works. You can't just wipe away. I mean, you realize, Ethan, every single team could say that. Kentucky can say, well, if we just wouldn't have made the mistakes and turned the ball over, we'd have beat South Carolina by 21 points. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really play that game. You can't really play that game. So, yeah, like I told you guys yesterday, again, I don't want to spoil my predictions or projections or anything like that for later this week, but, if you guys can't tell, I'll be totally honest. I have no confidence going in this game against A&M. I think even the last 2 weeks, I picked South Carolina to beat Tennessee, which was way off, and it was a bad pick. And then last week, I picked the Gamecocks to cover the spread and win by 21, and that turned out to not be a great pick. So, I'm not setting my sights too high in this ball game. I think Texas A&M is a really, really good football team. Really talented. I know they had a really rough start to the year, but they seem to be turning a corner and figuring it out. And, I just think South Carolina, with Zeb Nolan back there, I'm excited to watch Zeb play, but it's going to be very difficult. You can't run the ball. That's a fact. Your offensive line will get pushed around again. And I think your defense will hold on for dear life. But you know what? Here's what's going to kill South Carolina, by the way. Here's what's going to kill the Gamecocks. Because everybody thinks about passing game and, the secondary and all that. But, here's what's tough is South Carolina's defense has been good in spite of not being really good against the run. You're going up over 4 yards per carry this season. You're still not very good against the run. A&M has Isaiah Spiller, and they can run the football. That's what's going to kill you. That to me is what can really hurt you in this ball game. So, again, I'm not ready to make a score or anything like that, but I have no confidence whatsoever. I think the 21-point number in Vegas is pretty much on the money. I really do. I think it's pretty much on the money. So going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a really, really tough one. But who knows? That's why they play the game. College football's crazy. You never know. You never know. Savannah Webster, is Jalen out again? And Juju should be back, according to Shane Beamer. Jalen Brooks, I have no idea. So I'm sure Beamer will update that today, guys. 1:15, we'll tune into Shane Beamer's media availability. 1:15, we'll tune into that. So stick it around right here, and we will watch that together. Dorian says, will Satterfield be in a hot seat soon? Again, if it was me personally, unless things just totally go south, which I don't even know, man. On one hand, yeah, the play calling's been suspect this year. On the other hand, I almost feel for Satterfield. How would you call plays for this offense? Right? Because every time we get something going, we shoot ourselves in the foot. We make a mistake. We do something stupid. So, I mean, it's not just play calling. I've said that over and over. It's not just play calling. Me personally, I would bring back Satterfield next year. If it doesn't work out next year, make the change at the end of the season. But again, you get to a point where you're just recycling offensive coordinators yearly. I don't know who you're going to be able to land. Unless that guy is out there that Shane Beamer wants, and, it's a situation where it just works out. Hey, Satterfield, you go there. We're going to get this guy. I trust in whatever Shane Beamer wants to do. But me personally, I'd probably bring him back. So. Let's see. Ethan Sanders, we need some magic. South Carolina has always played to the level of its competition. Let's just hope for some Beamer ball. Have they? Have they? Is a 27-point loss to Georgia playing to the level of your competition? Is a 25-point loss to Tennessee playing to the level of your competition? I don't buy that for a second, man. It's what we've done in the past. It doesn't matter for the game on Saturday. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but I see that a lot. It's like, well, we're the Gamecocks. We'll play the level of our competition. It's like, will we? Is that really a thing? Or is that just something people say to make themselves feel better? Wanda Wells, let's just hope that the team has a bad day playing, then we might have a chance. Yep. Listen, if A&M plays their A game, doesn't really matter what you do. Doesn't matter what you do if A&M plays their A game. They're better than you. Top to bottom, they're more talented than you. They're better than you. So, guys, I'll be honest with you. I look at this game a lot like the way I viewed the Georgia game. Again, am I putting A&M on? Am I putting A&M on Georgia's level? No, I am not. But Jimbo's done a hell of a job recruiting, building that program. They are light years ahead of where you are. So they are light years ahead of where you are. Luke Boyd says Zeb is a positive contribution to this team by his attitude for sure. He almost coughed up the game against ECU. He's a fighter, but he's not your best option with a healthy Luke Doty. Yeah, Luke, good take. And again, I tend to agree. Hey, Luke's out, though. Keep him out until he's 100% healthy. Now you're rolling with Zeb Noland. We'll see what happens. I'll be very intrigued to see how he plays. Guys, taking your questions, comments, calls here on a Tuesday, October the 19th, 2021. Do not go anywhere. Want to hear from you. Continue to talk Texas A&M. Also, Shane Beamer's media availability at 1:15. We'll tune into that. So taking more of your questions, comments, calls in the next 20 minutes or so on the other side of the break, and then we'll tune in to Shane Beamer. Guys, great Tuesday to have a Tuesday. Your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, folks, we're back. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls here on this Tuesday, October the 19th, 2021. Great day to have a day as always, folks. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Quick reminder, if you have not done so, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 521. Alex McGrath and I chat about everything that happened over the weekend against the Vanderbilt Commodores, as well as look ahead to this weekend, the game in College Station against Texas A&M. Let's see. Going back to your questions here. Also, in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to TDC Questions, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. Christian Carver says, no surprise here, but our Lady Gamecocks are number 1 in the preseason poll. Did see that. Awesome stuff for Dawn Staley squad. Also, Frank Martin's team picked to finish 11th in the SEC. 11th. So, not really surprising. It's going to be a very interesting basketball season. I'll tell you that. Which, by the way, it's kind of wild. And I'm sure all of you already know this, though, in here. It's kind of wild the amount of people, though, that don't realize that we cover all the sports in regards to, baseball, basketball, football. I'm not just a football guy. So, we won't be going anywhere once basketball kicks. If anything, guys, the content only increases when basketball season gets going.
Dalton.
All right, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Press 1.
Dalton, what's up, man? How are you?
How's it going on a Tuesday, man?
I'm doing pretty well. I appreciate you asking, man. What's up?
I wanted to call because something I've sort of noticed out of this team is just the amount of penalties that we get on offense is way too high. And that has nothing to do really with the scheme or any of the play calling or any of the talent at the skill positions. It has everything to do with just we're making stupid mistakes at, jumping before the ball snapped and all this stuff. And we're really just killing ourselves. Like, again, Vanderbilt, we won the game. Obviously glad we won the game. But the only reason why I think it was that close was because of the amount of just stupid mistakes that we were making. I'm wondering what your thought is, like, why are we making these dumb mistakes? Does it have to do with coaching? Does it have to do with inexperience on the team? Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think everybody should be held accountable right now, man. Listen, I'm a Beamer guy, and I obviously like Coach Beamer a lot and his staff, but man, I guess that's the $1 million question right now is how can the penalties still be a thing? 10 penalties against Vandy, 10 penalties. Every time you get something going, you shoot yourself in the foot. I don't know if we just can't handle prosperity or we just really are that stupid of a football team, but man, we do a lot of stupid things. And the penalties, like you said, man, there aren't many teams in college football that I would say are going to be good enough to overcome stuff like that. Certainly, we're not one of them. We're not a team that's good enough to overcome those foolish penalties. So, how do you fix it? I don't know. Again, I don't believe Shane Beer and his staff are coaching our guys to make foolish mistakes because I know they're not. So at some point, it comes down to accountability within the players and them not making those mistakes and owning up to it. And, you know what I'm saying? Taking it upon themselves to just be smarter players. So I think it falls on everybody, though. You got to put some responsibility on coaching as well. And I don't know, man. That's a great question. that's something Alex and I talked about on the podcast today. And, unfortunately, we're talking about it on a weekly basis. So I guess at some point you are who you are, man. That's probably how Coach Spurrier would phrase it. You just are who you are. And the 2021 version of the South Carolina Gamecocks are just a stupid football team. There's just no other way to put it, bro. I don't know what else to tell you. It's 7 weeks isn't a small sample size, and we are flagged and penalized every single week. This is not a one-game thing. So I don't know if it can be fixed. I don't know how you fix it.
The amount of false start penalties we get is just ridiculous. Every single time we get the ball, we go down the field, we get across midfield, and then we just start doing all, false start penalties, and we just kill ourselves because we're not like a high-powered offense. We can't bomb the ball down the field every single play. some other teams can. We're just not that talented right now. So, the fact is, if you want to win on offense, you have to get whatever you can, and you can't just give it up for free by doing a false start penalty or holding penalty every snap. That's just how I see it. Another question I have is, like, a lot of people have been making, a fuss about sort of Shane Beamer's attitude after the game on Saturday. And they're saying they think that he was, too happy. He's sort of doing the whole Dabo persona, where Dabo goes out there and says, we won the game, yada, 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 and just sort of covers over the flaws. I don't really know. For some coaches that works. Maybe it'll work in the long run for Shane Beamer, but do you see that as a problem with Shane Beamer and sort of his attitude towards coaching and towards the media after the game?
I'll be curious. I'll be
public image.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how Beamer evolves as a head coach in regards to, like, kind of what you're mentioning, because, again, I think Beamer's walking a fine line in year one in regards to he wants to be – I would imagine there's certainly a part of him that wants to be a disciplinarian and come down on guys and jump down their throats. But it's – at the same time, man, here's the thing. It's much easier to discipline your own kids than it is to discipline somebody else's. And the fact of the matter is still this. These are not technically his players. They're not. So he's still trying to, believe it or not, I think, at least this is my opinion, I think he's still trying to earn the trust and respect of the locker room. And so I think he's got to walk a bit of a fine line with, and just how much turmoil this program dealt with and the players dealt with in the last year plus. I think that too. I mean, is he going a little over the top, pumping the positivity and the optimism and the but at the same time, man, those people complaining about that, I mean, would it really be more beneficial for Beamer to come out in the post-game presser and be just a miserable son of a bitch? And you know what I'm saying? Just be negative, talk down on his team, talk about how terrible we are. What purpose would that serve? You know what I mean? I actually respect what he said after the game was that, you know what? And I saw some fans, talking on social media about, how could you celebrate this win? Well, you know what, man? Because winning is hard. And when you haven't won any more than Carolina's won, and I'll be honest with you, as a Gamecock, South Carolina football as a whole has lost a lot of games. Many, many, many games over their history. So every time we win, we should celebrate it, in my opinion. I understand I think you can be disappointed with how you won the game. You can be disappointed with the performance and upset with it, but also have perspective and just say to yourself, thank goodness we won the football game. And thank goodness. I mean, I sit here still on a Tuesday. I'm just baffled we're 4-3. I can't believe we're 4-3. I can't. With all things considered, I can't believe we're 4-3.
I was in the stadium on Saturday, and I didn't think we were going to win either. I stayed the entire time because I'm dedicated, I guess.
Right. No, I was there too. No, I was there to the very end as well. So.
But yeah, I mean, I am glad we put together a drive on the final play. But it's just interesting to see how Shane Beamer goes about coaching in the public, because not every coach can be like the Steve Spurriers or the Nick Sabans, where they go, we won the game by 80 points, but we got XYZ penalties. It's not good enough. Like, you can get to that point, but we're a brand new program. And so I think going out there and showing, hey, these guys fought, it wasn't a pretty win, but we won the game. It's a good attitude to have, especially in year one,
And I would tell you this, Beamer doesn't need to come out in the post game and be upset and kicking and screaming and negative to convince me that, he wants to win and wants us to play better. I feel like that's obvious. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think behind closed doors, Shane Beamer's popping a bottle of champagne because they beat Vandy by a point. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think Beamer's a positive, optimistic guy. And the fun is in the winning, and when you win, you celebrate. I don't give a damn who you're playing. So, and I think that's going to be Beamer's attitude as well. But I mean, come on, do people really think that he's throwing a parade because we beat Vandy by a point? I don't think he is. He doesn't need to convince me of that.
I mean,
so
my sort of perspective on it is not every coach has the same style.
Right.
Obviously, Muschamp style is different than Beamer's style. Dabo's style is different than Beamer's style. Not every coach is the exact same, where they can be the ultra hardcore, like win at all costs guy out in the public, right? I'm sure he's like that in the building, but the coaching staff also understands the, sort of problems that this team has.
Yep.
The fact is we were never going to go 8-2 or whatever, like we can't, we're not winning 8, 9, 10 games this year, and we knew that from the very beginning. So the fact is you just have to get the win where you can. We were in the game the entire way on Saturday, and we ended up winning. Even if it was by a single point, it's still one more in the win column.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
your first year as a head coach.
Yeah, people loved Beamer's energy. I was just going to say, people loved Beamer's energy in the preseason and over the summer and everything. And so I would say, don't switch up now, man. I think Beamer's just going to be who he is. So you either can embrace that and appreciate that, or you can't and you won't. So, but yeah, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and we'll see if Beamer's, how he evolves as a coach and if his style is going to work. But I definitely think in this new day and age of college football, it's getting harder and harder and basically impossible for these coaches to be the disciplinarians and to be the reason a Saban can be a Saban or a Spurrier could be a Spurrier was, well, I mean, their track records speak for themselves. If Shane Beamer, I feel like, tried to come in being like that as a first-time head coach, and people be like, who is this guy? Like, why is he talking to me that way? You know what I mean? So, yeah. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see if it works for him, but I don't mind it at all.
Right. I mean, for me, this week going to College Station, it's a night game. I don't expect to win, obviously. Yeah. I mean, you can't, if you put up a performance like you did against Vandy, you can't feel very good about going to Texas A&M, who just knocked off Alabama 2 weeks ago, and expect to just outright win the game. There would have to be some kind of miracle for that to occur. But I'm just hoping to see less errors, less, penalties, and less stupid mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. Because if you can clean up the errors, then you're at least doing better than you were this week,
Yeah. Show progress. I mean, again, I think that's all fans want to see. So show progress, show improvement.
All right, man. Well, it was nice talking to you. I hope you have a good rest of your Tuesday, and you keep up the good work.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Take care. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. About 10 minutes to go until Shane Beamer will speak to the media guys. And like I said, we will tune in to that. We will tune into that to hear Shane Beamer, what he has to say ahead of Saturday's games. The Gamecocks take on the Texas A&M Aggies. Liam Carney says, Beamer said it best. This is how we have to win right now. Indeed, this is how we have to win right now. Joseph Carson says, I don't care how we win. A win is a win. Doesn't matter how you get it. Go Gamecocks. Shullen says, you can call the 2021 Gamecocks a lot of things. Quitters is not one of them. For sure. That is a fact. Ryan Cothran, as long as he's holding players accountable behind the scenes, how he acts in the media doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah, again, Beamer doesn't have to convince me that he's, I have no issues with Shane Beamer being positive. It's honestly, it's a nice change of pace. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Robbie Davis.
Robbie, what's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I just think, obviously I knew from the get-go that we weren't going to be – I just had a feeling from the get-go this season that our offense was not going to be explosive. because one, none of our offensive coordinator, in my opinion, does not have the pieces that he has right now, that he needs right now.
Mhm.
He doesn't have the pieces, and I feel like once we get the pieces, same with the defense. Once we get the pieces that fit our philosophy on both sides of the ball, I truly do believe that this could be a football team that can give A&M or an Alabama or even in its heyday, a Florida, a run for their money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, absolutely makes sense.
And I think even though, nobody's really given us a chance to go into College Station to win, like the caller that just got off just said, he just wants to see us, not shoot ourselves in the foot and everything. And I agree with it. I agree with him wholeheartedly. That's been killing us all season. We got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair expectation from fans. I think that's a very fair expectation. So,
and it goes like anybody could lose a game by shooting themselves in the foot too many times. Even Alabama, if they shoot themselves in the foot too many times, guess what? They're probably going to lose.
Yep.
I mean, we're just not where we need to be right now, and it's going to take a couple of years to get us to where we're not making stupid mistakes, and where we're not, getting the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. I mean, we just gotta just go on the field and just take care of business and let the game do all the talking.
Yeah. Yep. Getting out of your own way would be a great start to improving. That is for sure.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Robbie, I appreciate the call as always, my man. No, I think you bring up some great points, great perspective, and yeah, I mean, again, I don't think fans are asking for too much for just seeing a team go out and just play a well-executed football game. If you lose by 30, so be it, but at least don't, get out of your own way. Don't do stupid things. I don't think that's asking for too much, personally.
Getting called for a holding or getting called for a roughing the kicker.
Yeah. Yep, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, you have a good one.
Robbie, appreciate you, my man. Thanks so much. 843-790-3377. Great stuff there from our good friend Robbie Davis. Let's continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Guys, again, in case you missed it, Gamecocks women's basketball. Gamecocks women's basketball. Preseason ranked number 1 in the country. Dawn Staley's squad for the second consecutive year. Ranked number 1 in the preseason. Also, the Carolina men's team. The men's team has been picked to finish 11th in the SEC by the media. So, I guess a tale of two ball clubs, right? Tale of two ball clubs. Mark Riegel, y'all showed Dak Joyner some respect. Second on the team in receptions. Good for Dak. I'm happy for Dak. Yep, he actually had a much better game against Vandy. I was impressed. He had a much better game. Much better game. Paul Yarber, I think we're currently 23rd in recruiting rankings for this class. Any more big names we have a chance to land? None I got on the top of my head, man. Honestly, when it comes to in season, I don't follow recruiting a ton, man. I'm so locked in on the games that are happening actually on the field. That's no knock on recruiting or anything in season. Bro, there's games actually going on the field. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm paying attention to. So that's what I pay attention to in season. So. Let's see. Chandler Butler. Chandler Butler says, this game just showed me Beamer's not the guy. This staff is way in over their head. Year one, man, 7 games in. Year one, 7 games in. Year one, 7 games in. Let's see. Brian Welch says people calling for Satterfield's head must want 4 different OCs in 6 years like we did from 2015 to 2020. What kind of system is that? You can't recruit that way. I tend to agree with you. I mean, again, I'm not saying stick with one guy just because, but I don't know, man. It's going to be tough to get another guy if you're constantly changing dudes year after year after year after year. So I tell you, though, it's wild, man. Can you imagine the people, if the people who, some people are already out on Beamer. Can you imagine if those people were actually making the decisions and they just pulled the plug, like, boop, pull the plug? It's like, come on, man. Let's see. Shellen says Dak equals the most selfless player on the team. Again, guys, Shane Beamer speaking in just a few minutes. We will tune into Shane Beamer's presser. Shane Beamer's presser. We will air that right here for you guys. So very excited to hear what Coach Beamer has to say. What Coach Beamer's got to say ahead of this weekend's game against Texas A&M. Ryan Cothran says, who do you think LSU hires as their new head coach? Great question. Great question. I've heard Billy Napier wants the job. Who knows if he gets it? Will it be God forbid, would Dabo leave? Would Lane Kiffin go? Who knows? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put this on here, put this on the screen. And once they go live, I will hide my screen. But we're tuning to Shane Beamer's media availability. Shane Beamer speaking to the media. Here we go. All right. Let's hear what Coach Beamer has to say.
You're late, right? All right. Appreciate everybody coming. Check your phones, make sure they're on mute. Appreciate that as well. And Coach will make your own big statement. We'll open up for questions. Coach. All right, I'll second that. Thanks to everybody for being here. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. Before I get started, just wanted to bring more awareness to our Carolina Committed fundraising campaign, the most aggressive fundraising campaign in athletic department history, trying to generate $35 million through donations by the end of 2023. We're focusing the resources on this campaign directly on enhancing the student athlete and fan experiences here at Carolina. We've had great initial success in this campaign. It's allowed the department to move forward on phase 1 of renovations to Williams-Brice Stadium, which we certainly appreciate, and will make a fantastic home field environment even better. This includes LED stadium lights, ribbon boards throughout the stadium, and West Side Concourse expansion. So we are never going to stand pat here. We're always moving forward and always trying to get better. That'll be fantastic for our amazing fans that come to Williams-Brice Stadium, and for our players and recruits and on and on and on. So there's so much greatness about that, and really excited to be part of that. Congratulations to Kai Kroger, the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week, as well as the Ray Guy National Punter of the Week. Correct, Steve? Correct. Come on, Mike. Ray Guy National Punter of the Week. So congratulations to Kai on that as well. We started 2 minutes early, Mike, but
I GA'd for George O'Leary, and if you were 10 minutes early, you were late. So learned that lesson early. But no, congrats to Kai on that. Obviously, he is a great player for us, a weapon. He can throw the ball. You saw that at Tennessee, and he's a fantastic punter and holder as well. So having a great season, and congrats to him. Also excited for the opportunity this week. Obviously, it'll be a really big challenge for us playing a Texas A&M team that's extremely well coached. Got a ton of respect for Jimbo Fisher, one of the great coaches in all of college football, and a team that they are clearly clicking on all three phases right now to beat Alabama at home, and then to come back and finish it or to cap that off with a dominating performance last week. Really talented team, well coached, like I said, number 2 scoring defense in the SEC right now. 3 of the top 4, I think, in SEC all-purpose yardage are their 2 running backs. 3 of the top 16 players in the SEC in sacks are on A&M's team. They can play dominant defense. Hardly anybody's scoring on them. They're explosive on special teams. The returners on the kick return game. Obviously, they returned a kick for a touchdown against Alabama. Their punt return game is explosive. Whenever those guys touch the ball, that'll be a big challenge for our cover units this week. And then the way they're running the football, they ran the ball for close to 300 yards against Missouri. The 2 backs are dynamic, really talented. Just so impressed watching their video. They're just so patient running the football. They're dominant up front on the offensive line, big, physical. There's a lot of those guys on that offensive line and on that football team from that part of the country that we recruited heavily when I was at Oklahoma. So I know what kind of talented players they are. But the backs are very patient, got great vision, do a great job of letting holes develop. And if you get out of a gap against these guys, it's a 30-yard explosive run. So we've got to be extremely disciplined on defense and gap sound and do a great job from that standpoint. We've got to do a great job on special teams, like I said, and then offensively, our offense. I mean, they're really talented up front. They're as impressive a defensive line group out there as there is, and experienced secondary with size, and will be a great environment to play in on Saturday. On special teams, like I said, and then offensively, our offense. I mean, they're really talented up front. They're as impressive a defensive line group out there as there is, and experienced secondary with size, and will be a great environment to play in on Saturday night. So a big challenge for us. But our guys, Sherrod Green is progressing nicely from his injury. Proud of him and the way that he's attacked the rehab. Jalen and Dylan are iffy for Saturday, and then just really bumps and bruises and guys beat up at every single position from top to bottom. So I think everybody, you could go through every position and say somebody is probable, questionable, whatever you want to call it, for Saturday night. So we've got to get well in a hurry because we are beat up. But everybody in the SEC is right now. We've played 8 straight weeks, and so is Texas A&M. So has Texas A&M. So we've got to get better from that standpoint. Update on Luke. He, like I said the other night, he re-injured his foot. So we've met with some specialists here over the last couple of days. He will be done for the year. He's going to have surgery this week. It's the best thing for him, short term and long term, is to get this thing healed up and get him back. From talking to a lot of people in this program, I had been told before the Vanderbilt game that he is one of probably 1 and 2, no disrespect to any other player, but one of the toughest players to ever play here at Carolina, along with Connor Shaw. And he showed that Saturday night. Appreciate his toughness and hate it for him. Hate it for our football team, but he's in great spirits. Just talked to him before I came in here. He was out at practice today, but he's going to have surgery later this week, get everything cleaned up and fixed, where he will be better long term and able to come back. Like I said, that'll shut him down for the rest of the season. And Zeb is our starting quarterback. Jason Brown, Colton, and Connor Jordan are our other quarterbacks. And excited about the way those guys have continued to progress and get better throughout the season. So with that, any questions?
Shane, a couple with the backups. Is Jason the clear number 2? Is that still to be determined?
Jason's the number 2 right now. Yeah, but Colton, I'm proud of Colton, man. He is getting better quickly. Really been impressed with him. He's our scout team quarterback going up against the defense. He's a competitor. I mean, him and some of those guys over there going against our defense. I mean, they try and destroy our defense every day over there. And Colton's showing great leadership over there and really taking advantage of his reps mentally and physically. So Colton's getting better, but Jason's number 2 right now.
And Juju and Jalen, what's the update on them?
Jalen Dickerson. Oh, I'm sorry, Jalen Brooks. Got too many Jalens. Jalen Dickerson, Jalen Foster, Jalen Brooks, and Jalen Nichols. Sorry about that. Still day-to-day. Juju's back, and Jalen Brooks is still day-to-day.
Shane, are there any plans to bring DeCarrion back into the quarterback room or anybody else?
No.
On that regard, you're going to stick with what you got?
Yep. Feel good about what we got. Obviously, Zeb has is 2-0 as a starter, and in his last game that he had started, had gone right down the field on Georgia, and we're in the red zone when he got hurt, and then he came in and won the game the other day with that drive. So confident in Zeb, and like I said, confident in Colton and Jason and Connor. We've used DK at quarterback in multiple games this year. DK can throw, but no, DK is a receiver that, certainly you always have like break glass and in case of emergency type thing. So he continues to, do stuff in practice during the week, but no, we haven't even discussed that.
Shane, with Luke, how is he?
But we can always line him up at quarterback and do the stuff that we've done with him as well. So I'm not saying he's not going to be a quarterback. I'm not going to say you're not going to see him lined up at quarterback Saturday night. But as far as meeting with the quarterbacks and things like that, he's not doing any of that. He can do it all. So all of our guys, with our depth, everybody's got to be multifaceted on this team.
Shane, with Luke, how has he handled this
Great.
situation, and kind of how, from a timeline standpoint, do you anticipate him back for spring, or is this something that might keep him out a while?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of trying to get all that figured out right now. First of all, he's in great spirits. After I talked to you guys Saturday night after the game in the press conference, I went from Matt. Clint Haggard met me in the hall and told me that Luke had re-injured his foot. We weren't quite sure how serious it was at that point, so I went into the training room. He was in there with his mom and dad, and had a chance to visit with him and felt bad for him because I knew he had re-injured it. Didn't know how severe or long-term it would be, but you knew it was going to probably certainly affect his chances of playing against Texas A&M, and he's in there picking me up. I was disappointed for him, and he was in great spirits, all part of God's plan and bumping the road, and I'll be great for it. And his dad, who's awesome, just kept telling me great win, and just what a fantastic family. He was at practice Sunday night. He was in the offensive meeting this morning asking questions, as we installed the base game plan for first and second down this morning. He's in the meeting and he's engaged like he's the starting quarterback this week, which I appreciate. And then he was out at practice today. So he's in great spirits. I don't think it's anything that's going to affect him long term. Should be good to go, go through a rehab process, and we'll see how the surgery goes for more of a long-term thing, but don't anticipate it at this point being anything that's going to affect him really long-term.
Hey, Shane, I know with Luke, he came back a little sooner than you guys would have liked because of Zeb's injury at Georgia. Is this a situation where if Zeb had stayed healthy and you could have kept Luke out a couple more weeks, you would have done that, or did he come back about the same time you guys wanted him to?
No. You said that we wanted that we put him in there before he was ready, or that before we wanted him to. I mean, obviously we would have hoped that Zeb would have been able to finish the Georgia game. But if Luke hadn't been cleared by doctors and we didn't feel like Luke was healthy, I mean, he wouldn't have been in uniform at Georgia. You know, he was cleared. He was good to go. He felt good. And I know what you're saying. Obviously, we wanted Zeb to finish the game. But if Luke wasn't healthy enough to play, we weren't going to put him in there against Georgia. So, you know, it's one of those things that ideally, I mean, we beat Georgia and Zeb plays his rear end off, and you don't make a quarterback change, or you keep playing Zeb if he's playing great. He got hurt against Georgia. Luke was cleared by our medical doctors that he was okay to play. Luke felt okay playing and went in there and played his butt off against Georgia. So, you know, both those guys, it's been two unfortunate injuries to our top two quarterbacks this year, but they've both handled it well. And you know, we're back to Zeb.
Shannon, I know people probably like to use the word blame, so that's not the word I'm trying to use here, so I apologize if it seems like that. But when you look at the offense and you're trying to just figure out what is it? What is it from holding back this offense in terms of making that progress that you guys want to see? And is it is it not just from a coaching standpoint? Is it coaching, playing? Is it everything? And what have you been able to look at watching the film the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly got to be better, and we're 7 weeks in, so it's no more of, you know, it's growing pains and things like that. I mean, we've got to have some continuity at quarterback. We've got to have continuity at the receiver position, running back position, staying healthy, you know. And I know everybody wants me to sit up here and just say the play calling stinks, and that's the issue. But, you know, the play calling on Saturday didn't cause us to fumble or turn the ball over 4 times. That play calling got us some explosive plays down into the red zone that we then fumbled. You know, we threw 2 interceptions. The play call didn't force us to have holding penalties, you know, and things like that. So we all have a hand in it, and that's not me blaming players. We've got to coach better. We've got to not put our players in position. But I think on Saturday, and every game, Mike, is different. You can look at blame and why we haven't operated at a high level, and it's all of us, myself, down the offensive staff, down to the offensive players, and every game is different. But I'll look back at Saturday. I don't think there was a play calling issue. Now, it may not always look pretty, and I'm sure I don't know what the message boards are saying right now, but I'm sure they're like nuclear right now about bad play calls. Well, I don't know what play calls were necessarily bad. Help me out. Which ones were bad on Saturday? We've got to be better fundamentally and technique-wise to not put ourselves in those positions. And, you know, Marshawn fumbled the football. Well, at the offensive tackle position, we crossed over and had not great footwork and got beat inside, and Marshawn had to cut it back, and then a fumble happens. Poor ball security on a couple of fumbles. Gave a big play to Jaheim, you know, that came back because of a holding penalty because we set a little too far on a pass set and got beat inside. I mean, just fundamental things that we can clean up, which goes back to us as coaches. But, I mean, that's been kind of the point of emphasis with our players this week is we've got to be better. Forget about schemes. You know, we got to be better fundamentally, which is coaching. And that's what we're trying to do. But we got to be better everywhere, offense, defense, and special teams. We missed tackles Saturday. I don't think that was necessarily bad play calls by Clayton White. That was we got to coach up these guys better from a technique and fundamental standpoint to not miss tackles and give up explosive passes. And I don't mean that. I don't need fans now hitting me up on Twitter giving me a list of all the bad play calls either from Saturday. Like, that was a figure of speech. So, please, I try not to look at the mentions, but as soon as I said that, I can see it coming right now. But you know what I'm saying. I'm about to hit the mute button, but I get it. So, it's kind of like when a former coach said something about if you got violations in our program, send them into our compliance office, and what that turned into. So, I don't mean it. I get it. Not every play call was great, but I think you can look at it's a whole picture view as well.
Shane, was there one particular play on Saturday where Luke re-injured that foot, or was it a culmination of wear and tear over the past few games?
That's a good question, and I should know the answer to that. I know he didn't really tell a lot of people. He mentioned it to somebody, or after the fact, I'm sorry. I think he told Clint Haggard, our trainer, that in the second quarter he felt like he had aggravated it somehow. And I don't know if it was necessarily a certain play or or just kind of wear and tear. But second quarter, he told us the next day that it started bothering him. He's a tough kid. I think initially he maybe just felt it was, just soreness and whatnot. He mentioned it to the coaching staff. I think he mentioned it to Zeb late in the game. I think before the series, before Zeb came in, he maybe mentioned it. It was late in the game. Then he mentioned his foot was bothering him. So I don't know if it was a certain play, but I do know it was from what he's told us, the second quarter is when he started feeling a little bit different. But again, every game you're going to have soreness and injuries and things like that. It's can you go or not go, when he felt like he could still operate at a high level.
Getting back and a little bit here and there. But, I mean, do you guys feel comfortable giving him, and then 15, 20, 25 carries going forward? How do you kind of balance that with him getting healthy, being banged up a little bit? And I guess what's kind of the process with that?
Yeah, I think with him, with all those backs, playing running back in the SEC is a physical position. And, certainly you want to take care of all those backs and not have a whole lot of wear and tear on them. But, yes, Ben, we feel totally confident if Kevin Harris has got to carry the ball 30 times, doing it as well, when healthy. But that was a physical game. And there were times on Saturday night where Kevin was out physically or out for an injury at a certain point in the game. Barshawn was out with an injury at a certain point in the game. Zaquandre, he took some shots the other night, and he's got a little, he's a little beat up right now. So I think you got to continue to monitor the health of those guys. But we feel confident when healthy that all those guys can carry the load. Nobody's really on a pitch count, so to speak.
Shayna, with Zeb kind of being the guy now too, there's been a lot of things on social and all the Colonel Zeb account. Do you know about that? Do you follow the guy or any of that stuff?
No, my wife and kids keep me up to date on it as well. I'm aware of it. I guess I need to follow it. I don't right now. I need to. It is entertaining, to say the least. I did see the picture of, I think it was he and I hugging, and maybe it was Zebuliah's mother, I think was that one. I did see that one, which was pretty good as well. So I find it fascinating. I love it. My wife loves it. My kids enjoy seeing it, but it's good. It is a pretty cool story, and like I told Andrea Carter after the game from SEC Network on the post-game interview, Sat sit it on the headphones during the game that, this is his whole thing's going to be a movie, and the final drive to win the Vandy game is going to be a huge part of the movie as well when Disney or whoever does it, Disney, Lifetime, I don't know who's doing this movie, does it. So that was a great chapter, a great part of it. But it is a great Twitter follow.
You've mentioned a few times throughout the year that Kai Kroger has made some great holds. It looked like the snap may not have been great the other night. Have there been some problems with the mechanics on some of the snaps on the field goals, and how do you address those things?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, obviously we had, I think it was East Carolina, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was a little bit of a high snap that Kai did a great job getting down. The one field goal that Parker missed the other night was a little bit of just the operation, and Matt's been great as our snapper. I have no worries with Matt. That one, the timing was a little bit off. It wasn't quite, whatever you want to call it, the velocity that you want it to be. And I think threw the timing off a little bit, and then we had a little bit of a low punt snap, and I think that was more just. If I'm not mistaken, that was we were trying to let some time run off the clock, or we got out there, we were checking some stuff the other day. Make a long story short, Matt was over the ball a little bit too long, and as a snapper, that's hard if you're just standing over the ball for a long time. So he's got to be smarter about when he gets on the ball and how long we want him to hold on to the ball before we snap. So no worries. I mean, I was watching it closely in practice today, and he did a great job snapping. We got no worries about that. But a couple of them have been a little bit off, that field goal in particular. But Kai got it down like he has been all year as well.
Coach, I know there's been so much chatter about the QBs and everything, but after the game-winning drive, there was a great moment where Luke was the first one to be there for Zeb and had a huge smile on his face. They're both so complimentary and supportive of each other in the press room, on social media. How huge is that support when there is so much outside chatter about what's going on?
Yeah, no, it's great. And I think it's just a testament of what's going on in this building. You know, I know the normal fan sees Saturday and may not like the way that it looked because we didn't win by more points and we had turnovers and we had penalties and it wasn't always pretty. I see that we overcame all that and found a way to win an SEC football game and never panicked. I see what's going on in this building with the leadership and the way this team comes together and how close they are day in, day out, and just some of the things that's never made public that just happens on an individual or position basis or team basis day in, day out. That's pretty special that only reaffirms everything that we're doing here right now. And that, like you said, was a fantastic moment because I've seen other examples of that weren't like that across college football, NFL football, whatever you want to talk about. But it goes back to the team and supporting one another. We talk about love your brother and above all else and all that stuff. And those aren't just words on a wall. That's what this program's about. And it was great to see Zeb be so great towards Luke, the last few weeks and during the games and practices and how they help each other. And it was great to see Luke be that way with Zeb. And they're the same way right now. And that's at every position. And don't get me wrong, we got competitors at every position, and I'm sure, every receiver wants to be catching 10 balls a game, and every running back wants to be carrying the ball 20 times a game. And I'm not saying that everything's perfect, but it's a great group of guys that believe in each other and support each other.
Shane, you mentioned the Colonel Zebulai Twitter account. Do you have any opinions on Zeb's mustache?
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan?
I'm not, no. Whatever helps him play well and whatever he feels good about, I'll go with. And I've been around a lot of players that they get the mustaches going. In Oklahoma, we had some guys that did it, and that was their thing there for a while. So I've seen some bad mustaches. I'm not saying Zeb's the worst, but whatever allows him to play well, I'm not going to tell him he's got to shave it. But I think it's all part of the image, for sure.
And I guess how would you evaluate the secondary's performance against Vanderbilt? What needs to be better or change going into this Texas A&M game?
I thought they played really well. Cam Smith played his rear end off. He played awesome. Foster was good. RJ was good. They played well, and that's with Jalen Dickerson getting hurt and Jamar Brown not playing. So, they were down. They were down some guys from a depth standpoint. Overall, I felt like they played really good, really well. But the problem was they had, 4 critical mistakes that were magnified, which is what happens when you play that position. We had 2 busted coverages where we're in 3 deep zone coverage and just, come out of our zone. And next thing you know, they're throwing a ball for a big play over our heads. And then we had a couple critical missed tackles that turned into explosive plays. The catch on the sideline that should have been a 8-yard gain turns into a 50-yard touchdown catch or whatever. So we've got to be better. Again, that goes back to the fundamentals and technique and emphasizing it better and coaching it better to get those guys on the ground because we've done a pretty good job of tackling. But when you miss a tackle in the secondary or you bust a coverage in the secondary, it's magnified in football. And linebackers, D-line, you can do that, and there's people behind you to clean it up. When it happens in the secondary, there's nobody behind you, and it gets magnified. But overall, I thought they played really, really well and did a nice job. We handed them 17 points off of 4 turnovers, and then we didn't help ourselves defensively with some missed tackles.
Shane, just real quickly, I don't think we've heard about Randricus Davis in a couple of weeks. He's still away from the program right now.
Yes.
What's his status?
He's still away from the program.
And then just quickly, I guess Luke's played 5 games now. Is there any way that you guys can petition to get a redshirt year for him? How does that work?
Yeah, we'll look into it. It's something that we haven't even talked about, really. It's all just happened so fast. We got injured Saturday night. Wanted to kind of talk to some doctors on Sunday, Monday. Found out yesterday we were going to do the surgery later this week, and then really haven't even gotten into all that other stuff.
I'm sorry if you addressed this and I missed it, but with the quarterback situation this week, do you look to try to get Jason Brown some snaps, or is it Zeb's game the whole way as long as he's playing well?
Jason some snaps in the game? No, probably. I mean, certainly there's a thought process to getting him in there and getting some experience, but no, I mean, our mindset right now is Zeb being in there, and it's his game and whatnot as well. But Jason gets plenty of work during the week. He got some work today with the first group, the first offense, against the first defense in practice and getting guys ready in the game. It'll be Zeb's show. But Jason's a guy that Zeb and Jason are both, big guys. And Jason's lost a lot of weight and runs well also. So, I mean, I'm not saying you would never see him in there, maybe in certain packages and things like that, because he can run the ball halfway decent. But no, right now the plan would be, it's Zeb's show. But if Jason had to come in there, we got full confidence in him. He's a gamer and he's performed well when he's been on that stage.
Shane, we've been joking a lot about the Zeb Noland movie and his story this season. I'm just curious, do you have any preference on which actor would play you in the movie?
No, I don't. I'm sure there's a lot of names I could throw out, but I'd probably make myself look bad if I said it, or egotistical if, ideally you'd say somebody like Tom Cruise or somebody like that, but then you make yourself look like an idiot if you're trying to compare yourself to Tom Cruise. So no, I don't. I'll let you guys figure that one out. All right. Thank y'all so much. See you in Texas. Have a good week. Say it again. Paul Rudd would be good. Yeah. I like it. Y'all keep them coming. Thanks.
Okay, that is Shane Beamer, and what we all sort of thought was going to happen has happened. Luke Doty is out for the rest of the 2021 season. It will be the Zeb Noland show from here on out. So, Zeb Noland taking the reins, and we'll see what happens. So, here we go. You imagine the Disney movie they'll make if the Gamecocks find a way to get to a bowl game with Zeb Noland as their starting quarterback. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Would love to hear from you, your thoughts, your questions, your comments, everything else here on this Tuesday. Like I said, guys, the big takeaway from Shane Beamer's presser, Luke Doty will indeed have foot surgery and will miss the remainder of the 2021 football season. What does that mean for the rest of the way out? I don't know. I don't know that it really changes my expectations all that much. I guess we'll see. Well wishes to Luke Doty, hoping for a speedy recovery. Sucks, really sucks, but I fully expect him to come back for spring ball and compete for the starting job, and he'll have just as good a chance to win it. He'll have a really good chance to win it, actually. So I'd expect Doty to come back. I'm glad he's going to be fully healthy, get him back fully healthy. Adam Ritter says, is Doty going to transfer? Adam Ritter, why would he transfer hurt? How does that make any sense? And why would he transfer? Again, he's going to have a fantastic shot to win the starting job. I mean, it's going to be him, Braden Davis, and Colton Gauthier. I mean, he's going to have a really, really good shot to win the starting job. No question. So we'll see what happens, but it's official. Luke Doty out for the rest of the 2021 football season, and the Gamecocks will roll with Zeb Noland the rest of the way out. Again, we'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your questions. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. And I guess we don't have to talk quarterbacks anymore, right? We don't have to talk Doty versus Zeb Noland, anything like that. It's Zeb's show the rest of the way. It is Zeb's show the rest of the way, and we'll see what he can do. So we'll see what he can do. Zebtober marches on. Aaron Hodges, more likely win another game, make a bowl. It wouldn't shock me if Carolina won another game. Making a bowl game, I think, is way too aggressive. I doubt it. I don't see it. I think 5-7 is about where this team, if they get to that, where this team will end up, about 5-7. So, Travis, so this is going to be a redshirt year. I don't know, honestly, Travis. I have no idea. He's already played in so many games. I don't know that he can get a medical. Maybe he can get a medical redshirt. I have no clue. Corey Washington, the only way I see Doty transfer if we change coordinators again, that's a low probability. Adam Ritter says, I blame the O-line for this. Well, Ritter, I'm not surprised you're blaming someone because, Ritter, you always need someone to blame. You do. So, Adam Ritter always needs someone to blame for everything. So, is what it is. Re-injured his foot. And, how about the slapdicks that were saying all week that Shane Beamer was lying about his injury status and, just ridiculous. So, absolutely ridiculous. Dunny Cunningham says, I blame Ritter. Yeah, I might blame Ritter, too. I think I blame Ritter for Luke Doty's injury. Yep, that's it. Yep. Brian Welch, you'll still hear some dumbass fans saying bench so-and-so until Connor Shaw or Garcia puts a jersey back on. I don't know, man. So, Zeb goes out there and plays like crap Saturday. What do you do then? You go to Jason Brown? Colton Gothy? I don't know. We'll see. In Zeb we trust. What other choice do you have? In Zeb we trust. Michael Sawyer says Syracuse played Clemson with zero offense. Syracuse quarterback couldn't throw a ball over 10 yards to save his life last Friday night. Clemson only won by a field goal. We have a great shot at beating Clemson this year. That's a fact. Great is a strong word. We do have a shot, though. We do have a shot. Sean O'Brien says Birch for QB1. Love it. Why not? Get weird with it. It's already a weird season. Just get weird with it. Again, guys, in case you missed it, Luke Doty officially out for the remainder of the 2021 football season. Luke Doty officially out for the remainder of the season. He will have surgery on that foot. And, sucks. It does suck. It really does. I think the thing that's really unfortunate is that he was hurt all year. There's just no question. Luke Doty was hurt all season long, or at least he wasn't 100%. He wasn't 110%. And, it's a shame. It's just a shame that we never really got to see the best version of Luke Doty. It's a shame we didn't. So, it is a shame we didn't. Let's see. Luke Boyd, I think the best chance of winning another game will come against Mizzou or the other Tigers and not the Auburn Tigers. Yeah, I think certainly Mizzou. Mizzou's not a very good football team. So, who knows? Maybe Zeb can be that game manager, field general for you and direct this thing and, who knows? Jackson Cash, what do you think of the run game so far this year? It sucks. That's what I think. It sucks. Bottom line, it sucks. Sean O'Brien, ride with Zeb this season and let the open competition at the quarterback position proceed next year. Yeah, when I tell you this, man, again, I got what I wanted. If Luke needed the surgery, get it and sit out, and sure enough, that's what's happening. So, hey, I'm glad he's going to recover. I'm glad he's going to be healthy. I'm glad we're not trotting him out there when he's just a shell of himself. So, hey, I appreciate Luke Doty doing all he could to tough it out and play through injury, but I'm really glad that he doesn't have to do that anymore. I really am. Jeff Sweat says, do you feel like Doty wasn't hitting his targets because of the foot issue all season? It's certainly not going to help, Jeff. When you injure your plant foot, you're going to compensate elsewhere. You know what I mean? It's just like any other sport. So, it didn't help. It didn't help. That's a fact. It didn't help. It did not help. It did not help. So, John Gibbs, now we should see the playbook open up. Nothing to lose. Not to say Marcus hasn't tried to surprise us, but now let's get it, open it up, and let it fly to someone. John, how much, what are they going to do that we haven't seen? I don't know what they're going to really do in the passing game that we haven't seen. Greg Bedger said it's a shame he played with an injury. You seem pissed off. I mean, I'm just, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? It sucks. It does suck. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see a healthy Luke Doty all season long. Just is what it is, man. I'm not pissed off. I mean, just kind of is what it is. I don't know. What can you really say? What well wishes to Luke Doty, and here we go with Zeb Nolan. Let's rock. Let's rock. Donnie Cunningham says he was getting 2 yards on scrambles that should have been 15-yard plays. Yeah, I mean, again, it was very, very, very obvious that he was not 100%. Yeah, very obvious. Very, very. Again, we'll see what happens. Hey, we'll see what happens. The rest, I don't even really know what to think of the rest of the season anymore. To be honest with you, it's. I mean, I like Zeb a lot, guys. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I probably feel the same way. I probably do feel the same way. I'll be very curious to see how our offense changes because, again, we can't run the football. We can't run the football. So do you just open it up and let Zeb air it out? I mean, what other choice do you have? I don't know what other choice you have. Luke Boyd, just like baseball, you hurt your plant foot on the mound, you're going to be all over the place. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna start compensating somewhere else, and that's exactly what I think probably happened to Luke Doty. Yeah. Justin Martin says, Chris, what are your thoughts about Tennessee fans throwing things on the field? It was a bad look, that's for sure. Bad look. Cody Gaskins says in the TDC Questions channel, speaking of Birch, do we believe he'll be a bust? I hope not. I hope not, but it is strange how he just hasn't contributed at all. You know what I mean? At all. So, Travis says 5 wide, spread it out. I hear you, man. Let's spread it out. To hell with it. What do we have to lose? What do we have to lose? So, again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377, guys. Todd Smith with the super chat. Todd, thank you. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate you. Appreciate the continued love and support, guys. Yeah, if you want to support the business, support the content, support everything we do when you're on YouTube, super chat, super stickers. Again, appreciate you, Todd. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see. Travis Lee says, let's be thankful, if you want to say that it's his foot causing the bad play on his part. Kind of makes you keep hope that he's better than what we've seen. Yeah, I definitely think Luke Doty is better than what we've seen to this point, for sure. Tyler Knowles says, on a positive note, go Bravos. Travis says, I'm with you. Crack a beer and let's enjoy this wild finish. Yeah. Again, what other choice do we have? Crack a brewski and enjoy this wild finish we got in store. I told you guys in the preseason it was going to be a roller coaster ride, but my goodness, I didn't quite expect all this. I did not expect all this. So, man, wild. Carter Bingham, 4 verts from NCAA 07 every single play. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Man, you're making me miss the NCAA content. You're making me miss that NCAA content. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. The big news from Shane Beamer. And certainly we'll talk about it on the podcast tomorrow. Be talking about it all week. Luke Doty officially having surgery on his foot, and he is out for the remainder of the 2021 football season. So, well wishes to a speedy recovery for Luke Doty. Unfortunate. Jacob Lee, do you think the Braves take game 3 today? Yes, Braves are team of destiny. John Kruger, chop on, maybe. Let's go. Jeff Sweat, what we have is all we need. All we got is all we need. That's it. Bryant Hughes says, being a Gamecock fan has definitely cost me a few years of my life. Hey, you and me both. You and me both. Again, guys, got about 5 minutes to go here on a Tuesday. Be sure to check out the podcast, guys, if you have not. Episode 521, Alex McGrath joining me. Great conversation as we break down everything from Saturday's game against Vandy and look ahead to this weekend against Texas A&M. Jackson Cash says, I know it's not baseball season, but what expectations or how do you think baseball season will go? I mean, of course, man, we know the expectations in Columbia, right? I think my expectations, honestly, will be fairly similar to last year in the sense of, I think hosting a regional is very realistic. I think getting to a super is definitely something you'd like to see this year. But for Carolina baseball, man, the standard's the same every year. It's get to the postseason and give yourself an opportunity to get to Omaha. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to say if you get to the postseason and give yourself a chance that you had a bad year. You'd like to see, though, if you host your own regional, you got to come out of it. You got to come out of it. But I feel good about this program, feel good about this team. I think South Carolina baseball is going in the right direction. So Carter Bingham says, does Lorenzo Nunez have any eligibility left? Luke Boyd says, thank God Zeb didn't break his hand when he got it stepped on, because that means we'd be stuck with Jason Brown for the rest of the year. Jeff Sweat, which upcoming games are winnable? I think your most winnable, certainly you look at Missouri. They've been a total dumpster fire. I think Mizzou and Clemson are the two most winnable games left, to be totally honest with you. I know Florida's had a slew of issues, but they're still pretty talented. Auburn's been better than I expected this season. Of course, I still think that's going to be a really, really interesting game, though. Jeff Sweat, will A&M sleep on us? We better hope so. So I like this quote from Beamer as well. Quote, it's 7 weeks in, and we've got to be better on offense. We've got to have some consistency at quarterback. The play calling didn't force us to have 4 turnovers and holding penalties. And that's what I've been saying all season, guys, that, again, you can go after play calling and you can put it all on Satterfield, this, that, whatever. We're also not executing worth a damn. So we're also not executing worth a damn. Players are not making plays. So blame needs to be shared by all parties for the offensive struggles. Bottom line, it's not just play calling. It's not. Far from it. Far from it. Tyler Knoll says, I think we can go 500 in SEC play and host a regional. I think this team is a super regional team at worst. Very excited for Gamecocks baseball. You know I am as well, man. I'm a baseball dude, so I can't wait. Baseball season's a ton of fun. Ton of fun. Yep, I love it, man. Honestly, I love football season. I love the different seasons for different reasons, right? So football season's its own animal. But the fun thing about basketball and then baseball season, then they overlap. It truly is just content bleeding out the eyeballs, guys. All right, let's jump to the phone lines here. It'll be the last call today.
Call from
Josh.
Josh, what's going on? How are you?
Pretty good, man. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
Man, I just wanted to call, and I mean, I've been feeling this your past few shows, and I think you probably agree with me on this. For everybody that is complaining, trying to put the blame somewhere or whatever, man, this is Beamer's first year. I mean, look at what Dabo did when he started at Clemson. He wasn't a winning coach. I mean, the stuff takes some time, and I think considering that we've won every game we were supposed to, that's a win right now. We got a winning record. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you 110%, man. I think Beamer is. I mean, we're only one game off the pace of what I predicted us to be at right now at this point. Anyways, I mean, it's been how we've gotten here has been very interesting, but all things considered, again, I'm just happy we're 4-3. So.
Right. And another, I mean, and you gotta like Shane Beamer. I mean, he is one of the only coaches that is positive like 24/7. He has to take a breath sometimes, but he's not really negative ever. And that's something you don't see in a lot of head coaches. And I really like that about him. I think he's a great representation of our football team.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm a huge Beamer guy, obviously. And I think he's going to, if we can keep perspective and have a little bit of patience, I think he will be the guy that gets South kind of back.
Absolutely, man. Well, I appreciate you taking my call, Chris. I know it's about time for you to go, man. So have a good one, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for the call. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Great way to end it, by the way, guys. Again, thank you all so much for the continued love and support. Always a blast chatting with you guys each and every single day here on the Daily Crow. We have hit 2 o'clock. Be sure you check out the podcast that dropped this morning with Alex McGrath. Stay tuned to all the content, obviously, guys. Content bleeding out the eyeballs today here on a Tuesday. Again, folks, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. I always look forward to every single day chatting with you all here on these here airwaves, noon to 2, Monday through Friday. Folks, again, appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. And